What's going on, my good people? This your boy Lipo the Entertainer, here to bring you some action between Bowie State and Winston. This is going to be an interesting band battle. I'm trying to catch up on some more Bowie State battles, and Winston, you know, we almost done with Winston. I think we just got like probably a couple more to grade for them, and we'll be done with Winston for this season. But I'm going to try to get as much footage as I can with Bowie and a couple other bands. There's some bands that were not able to get a lot of stuff as far as recording, but you know, that's just because of media team issues, and I would hope and pray that eventually they can invest or find some type of team to actually start recording these type of battles, etc. Because I know we try to rely on Smash Time, etc. Different you know, band companies to do it on their own for free. You know, so I would kind of hope, I really would hope that these bands will incorporate a media team. I know there's some money involved, but I think that should be something that they should look into investing in over time, because that's money that they can make in general from the YouTube channel, whatever they do, especially if they are consistent with uploading. So I'm just saying, you know, that'll bring good revenue, but not all can afford it. But you know, but there's just some stuff that's just missing, and I will really pray and hope that they will get there eventually. I'm not just talking about Bo, I'm just talking about in general. Majority of the bands, I wish all the bands would have that, so it will bring more comfort for a lot of people to look up their content and give them more recruitment. I think that sometimes bands kind of get hurt because of that as well. But I did enough rambling on that. Y'all want to see this battle. So there was no zero quarter, but there was a halftime between both of these bands, and it was a fifth quarter. Okay, so we're going to grade that here. Okay, so look to the cards next to me so you know what we'll be grading for halftime. We're going to be grading entrance, songs, formation, dancers, breakdown, and overall creativity. Maximum points they can make besides creative is 25. If they're able to get a 5 in all those categories, they would get a perfect field show rating. In the creative department, that's just extra essential. So if they do something unique or death-defying on the field, I would give them some praise. Alright? So, you know, that's how we go about that, ladies and gentlemen. And, you know, that incentive can really help carry this battle. Don't sleep on field shows. Field shows do matter, ladies and gentlemen. Fifth quarter does matter as well about that book, but halftime does matter, ladies and gentlemen. So, with that being said, let's get into the action. This is Winston's home, so we're going to let Bowie go first. That's how they would do it at the game anyway. So, let's get it.
Smash Time is in the building!
Get ready for precision, attitude, style, and discipline at its best. You're about to witness the mighty, mighty, mighty SOS. We came to have a good time with y'all today. Is that all right? Under the direction of Mr. Billy Bennett and Mr. Michael Simmons, it's the pride of the CIAA, hailing from Maryland's oldest HBCU, located in Prince George's County, Maryland. Bowie State University, the 11th ranked HBCU in the nation, under the leadership of Dr. Anita Bro. Without further ado, I present to you the Bowie State University Symphony of Soul.
Some small 8 to 5 issues.
What you need is a precision drill to Mariah Carey's song entitled Meteorite.
Some more 85 issues, step off issue on the right side.
exceptional skill, magnetic charisma, truly sets them apart. Proving that anyone can dance like a diva. Now, immerse yourself in the dancing world of the dancing divas. Performing at Kalani's After Hours, the dazzling dancing divas.
That's pretty dope.
Show 'em some love.
Okay.
Next up on the sweethearts of the CIAA. With their sassy flair, sophisticated style, and their soulful performance, which is guaranteed to leave you wanting more, is the Sensations Color Guard performed to Usher's Good Good. Now you know what? Give it up for the Sensations Color Guard. It's the pride of the CIAA. Ladies and gentlemen, it is Ross and Dino. Make the stallion, Triple C, and more. Let's have a big HBCU party. Let's go! Oh, it's time to make it a stallion. So we're gonna bring a little DC to you. It's Boss Man D-Lo with Shake. Graham audience, as always, thank you for being an amazing audience. Red Sea of Sound, thank you for having us. We hope you enjoy. Now, what do you say we turn up a bit for the second half of the game? And Chris, what do you think?
Okay, let's get that a grade. Alright, so not cleaners, but creativity, I'm gonna give them a 2. Entrance, I'm gonna give them a 5. Songs, I'm gonna give them a 5. Formations, I'm gonna give them a 3. Dancers, I'm gonna give them a 5. Breakdown, I'm gonna give them a 3. Let me explain why I'm giving them 3s in those categories. So when we get to formations, 8 to 5, it was some people who did not practice 8. They did not do the 8 to 5 right. It was a step off issue. It was a couple of things. There was a lot of things on the right side of that field. So them arrows are going to be lit up on this field show. When we look at breakdown, it was some people who did not know the breakdown. Some people were kind of guessing. Some people did not even put in the energy. I just feel like some people were guessing. I just think that was a missed opportunity on Bowie. But they had the length, but I just feel as if when you have a lack of energy in certain songs, certain people don't know what they're doing, it's gonna look bad. And I say this, when y'all a small band, it's easy to pick y'all out. It's real easy to pick y'all out. When y'all a bigger band, it's kind of difficult to catch everybody, you know, unless they're on the front row, etc. But since y'all a small band, I can really see some of y'all weak dancers, some of y'all weak bandsmen that can't get it. So, you know, it's not me trying to pick on them. It's just, you know, you got to work with your bandsmen to get that rhythm so they can get it going. It's like y'all got to look good. Y'all got to look, you know, unison at least, or put that energy in. So, but that's what happened on that one. Let me give you y'all a grade on that. But overall, still a good show. I just think that was just a missed opportunity on their end. But they got a 23 for that. Let's see what Winston got. If y'all made it this far in the video, please consider liking and subscribing. It means so much to me. Also, shout out to Smash Time for getting all this footage as well. I didn't do that, but shout out to him for doing that. But we're going to do Winston's, and then we can get to this 5th quarter. Alright? Let's get it.
Smash Time is in the building.
I-double-A, ready to take the field. Introduce yourselves. Winston-Salem State, Red Sea of Sound. Turn up, rock with us, tribute to the legendary I Let Go, arranged by Dr. Michael.
It's the 5 issues.
Now we're gonna slow it down.
It's a 5 issues.
Beautiful and vibrant, we'll take your breath away with crazy energy. Put your hands together for break it all down. This is how we do it. Jam by Michael Jackson. Now it's time to turn
I just felt like it could be just a tad bit cleaner.
I thought I told you. Here's some chopper style. We see you chain reaction.
does that? Wait a minute.
Bullshit, bro.
Who does that? Wait a minute. Whoa. 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 Yo, that's crazy. That's crazy. That's wild. That's crazy, man. Damn. Oh, wow. I've seen a lot of things in my day, but I ain't never seen no shit like that before. Wow, that's crazy. They could have just let them finish. At that point, they was at the breakdown. They should have just let them finish. Wow. On their own turf. On their own turf. They did that on their own home. That's crazy. Wow. Damn, y'all. Winston, I'm sorry I gotta go through that, man. That, I know y'all was hot. Ooh, I would have been hot as a band director. I would have been like, fuck it, let's run it. Let's finish this shit. I don't care if we take the fine. Fuck it. We at home. We at home, fam. That's crazy. Alright, so creative, I'm gonna give them a 2. Breakdown, I'm gonna give them a 5. Alright. Songs, I'm gonna give them a 5. Formations, I'm gonna give them a 3. Dancers, I'm gonna give them a 4. Entrance, I'm gonna give them a 4. Okay? Let's see where they stack up at. Let's see how they did. Breakdown was good. I couldn't spot anything wrong with them, and so they kind of get a tad bit of an exemption because of some bullshit that they pulled on them. But for what I saw, it was decent. It was really good, you know. So that low key kind of pissed me off myself. Like, I can't believe they'd do some shit like that. That's wild. But what it looks like, ladies and gentlemen, that in halftime right now, currently, it's a tie. They got a 23 as well. Alright? So it's a halftime. If y'all made it this far in the video, please consider liking and subscribing. If y'all made it to the end of this field show, please comment below. If y'all from Winston-Salem, please comment below and tell me what happened there. I definitely know the football team had to do some stuff, but that I feel disrespected. Like, I know y'all feel disrespected, so let's talk about it below. Alright? So, with that being said, let's get into the 5th quarter, man. So, what we're going to be grading, we're going to get there in a second. But so far, it's a tie in this battle. Please consider liking and subscribing. It's, it's an interesting battle. It's very, very tight. Both bands are kind of even. I just think that, when we really highlight it, there's some stuff that they need to work on, their formations on that. Dancers was a little off, but the dancers were a little bit stronger with Bowie. But when we look at the entrance, they did a strong entrance, but she kind of one of the drum majors fumbled the bag in the entrance. So they probably would have got an edge over Bowie if they would have stuck it the way they needed to in the entrance. So that's just me, though. But when we look at this 5th quarter, okay, before we start, please do not get in your feelings about these grades, okay? It's nothing but love here. I'm going to give it to you raw and uncut. This is my opinion. If it was a group of me, then yeah, but this is just my opinion. I'm going off of my first initial impressions of what I'm hearing, okay? So for people who are diehard, Winston or Bowie, please don't shoot the messenger, okay? It's nothing but love here, okay? It's my first reaction to it, okay? So I might not catch everything on a dime. Sometimes I might catch it on a dime, but it is what it is, alright? So, with that being said, please look to the cards next to me so you know what we'll be grading. We'll be grading sound selection, power, articulation, arrangement, overall cleanness. Maximum points they can make all together is 50, okay? If a band is able to get 10 in all those categories, I would give them a perfect on that song, okay? So, just because a band get a perfect on the song doesn't mean that they're stronger than the other band. I just like consistency, and I want to, highlight that, consistency is everything to me. Alright? So, just want to put that out there. Alright? So, with that being said, let's get into the action.
Smash time is in the building.
As soon as we break this tie, what's this first? That was nice. Yeah, that's a good way to start it right there. It's a good way to start it right there, Winston. Came in with it. Alright, everything is a 10. No complaints at all. I think that was a great selection from them starting off. Sounded very clean. Couldn't really pinpoint anything wrong. I would say kind of like the mic is just a tad bit, muffled just a tad bit. But I think it's for right now, it's pretty cool. But for right now, it's actually pretty decent. Alright, moving on. Okay, Bowie. Hey, they got a pen on them. Hold on. Okay, Bowie. Okay, Bowie. Woo! Yes, indeed, Bowie. Oh my gosh. Give that shit a Ric Flair moment. Woo! Oh man, that pen is crucial. Oh man, that was a crucial piece from them. Yes, indeed. Oh man, that was entertaining to hear. That was entertaining to hear. That they played in the pocket. They played together. That pen, they was articulating they ass off. I really appreciate that for them. That was nice. That was nice. Okay? Now, Winston's definitely going to have to step it up. Winston struggles in that book some. So, we're going to see what they're going to be responding back with. Because that was a, whew, that was a something. That was really something. Let's see what Winston respond back with. Oh, we're going to slow it down. Okay. I ain't mad at it. Yeah, Winston. Wow. Let's give that a grade. Yeah. Yes. Yes, indeed. Give that shit a Ric Flair moment. Woo! Oh, that shit was nice, Winston. No complaints. They don't want Super Saiyan in here, man. They ain't playing no games, man. They're not playing any games. Okay, Winston. Okay, Winston. I ain't mad at you. I'm not mad at you at all, fam. Not mad at you at all. That was nice. That was real nice. Okay? For real, for real. Alright, moving on. Okay. Okay. Okay, Bowie. Oh man. Woo! Oh yeah, this is a crucial battle right here. Oh, this is a crucial battle. Everything about that was right. They went Super Saiyan as well. They went Super Saiyan as well. That was nice. That was nice. Woo, this is a battle, ladies and gentlemen. I'm excited. This got me on the edge of my seat. This is a good battle between these two bands. This is exciting. Alright, moving on. Alrighty. No complaints at all. That's what I'm talking about. They went Super Saiyan Blue God on them, fam. I see y'all. I see y'all, Winston. Don't play with them boys. Don't play with them. Don't play with it. Don't play with it. Don't play with it. They coming for 'em. That's what I'm talking about, Winston. Alright, and moving on. Alright, let's give that a grade. I'm going to give that almost a perfect. Almost a perfect. Sound selection is 10, power is 10, articulations 10, arrangements 10. Cleanness, I'm going to give them a 9. The reason why I'm giving it almost a perfect, I just felt like some parts could be cleaner. Coming from the first song to here, I just felt like it just needed to be tuned just a tad bit. Like, and it seems like some things that they were playing were kind of out of tune, if that makes sense. But it just needed to just be a little sprucing up just a little bit. So, not bad, but almost perfect. Moving on. man. They went Ultra Instinct in this thing, ladies and gentlemen. They got it perfect, ladies and gentlemen. No complaints. No complaints at all from that one. That was pretty nice. Very, very nice. Winston holding it on in that fifth. They doing pretty good, man. They holding it in the road right now. That's 4 perfects in a row. Let's see if they can keep it up. Moving on. Alrighty, Bowie. Yes, indeed, that was nice. That was nice. No complaints at all on that. No complaints at all on that. They got a perfect on that, ladies and gentlemen. No complaints at all. They held it in the road on that one. Really enjoyed that piece from them. Really liked it. Tuba started coming in clutch with that power at the end too, so they really sounded really good. Alright, moving on. Alrighty. Yes, legendary in this thing, man. Okay, Winston. Okay, Winston, welcome to the Legendary Club. Don't hit that legendary status, ladies and gentlemen. They don't want legendary. That's hard to do. That's hard to do, to hit it 5 times in a row. That's hard. If they keep on doing that, they can get an emoji by their name. Not everybody can get an emoji by their name, by the way. So, they did it. They did it on that one, man. Winston don't put that work in. They don't put that work in to get to the Legendary Club, man. And it's just, me highlighting that you can do 5 in a row. Why not 6 or 7 or 8? That's how I see it. If you can put that work in, to put that much work, to stay consistent at least. For me, that's strong. That's very strong. Consistency is everything. And if you constantly putting in that work, you constantly putting in that work. All right. Now some bands fumble the bag after that 5th song. So let's see where they get that emoji by their name next. But moving on to Bowie. Okay, he hit that tree. Okay. Let's get out a grade. Yes, indeed. Yeah, man. They did good, man. That was a good perfect, man. That Super Saiyan was something crucial for them. That was nice. That was really nice. They did that. Moving on. That's what I'm talking about. Yeah. That's what I'm talking about, man. They don't went beast mode in this thing, fam. I'll see y'all. Y'all beast mode in this thing. Y'all telling the other band to get right, you. You telling the other band to get right, you. Ain't mad at that at all. Ain't mad at that at all, ladies and gentlemen. That was nice. That was real nice. Alrighty. It's just something to mind. They finally got that emoji by their name. Now, all bands get it, but they got it. So, shout out to Winston for getting that next to them. That's what's up. Alright, moving on. They're about to have a drumline battle pretty soon. Alright. Well, I'm going to give that a grade. Alright, so sound selections 10, powers 10, articulations 10, arrangements 10, cleanness, I'm going to give them a 9. Almost a perfect. I just feel like there was some slight attacking issues on that. Wasn't too bad, but I just feel like it could be better. It could be better. That's just me though. It's right there. It's literally right there. I just think like, it's just missing that initial edge as far as just staying consistently clean, But it's right there. It's definitely there. Moving on. Okay, Winston.
Ultra
Them boys ain't missing either. Oh man, they on with ego status, man. They got an ego, fam. They can brag, fam. They can brag. They can definitely brag about it, man. That's, hey. That's nice. That's real nice. Ooh, that was nice from Winston. Yeah, that was nice. No complaints. No complaints. Moving on. Let's get out of the grade. Yes, indeed, that was nice. That was a good arrangement. I liked it. That was dope. That was dope. They got a nice little perfect on that one. Nice little perfect on that one, ladies and gentlemen. I'm not mad at them at that one. Not mad at them at that one at all. I think that's Bowie's last one. I don't think they're going to respond after that. So Winston's going to close this out. Alright? So. Alright, let's get that a grade. Alright, so for Winston, I'm going to give them a 10 for song selection, power, a 10 articulation, a 10 arrangement. I'm going to give them a 10 cleanness. I'm going to give them a 9. I just feel like it was clean. I just think they just needed just to spruce it up just a tad bit. Just a tad bit. I just think it would be better. But it was good for the majority. I just feel like they just need to just spruce it up some more. So, not bad. Not bad at all. Alrighty. So, let's give it the verdict, ladies and gentlemen. Let's give it the verdict. Shout out to Smash Time for getting this footage. I think, you know, he's putting in that work in. He loves to put a lot of other bands on the platform, and I really appreciate that. You know, he doesn't have to do it, but he does. You know, so shout out to Smash Time. So we want to know who won this battle, okay? So what it looking like, ladies and gentlemen, it was a 1-point difference in the 5th quarter, okay? I don't even have to give out the initial grades, but it was a 1-point difference in the 5th quarter. I will give it to Winston. Alright? Winston was just stronger in the 5th quarter. They were very consistent. Even though they was, you know, they had that 1-point lead when it came into that 3rd song, they just was not really missing. They kind of missed close to the end, but, you know, it is all good, you know. But to me, in my book, Winston was the strongest band. Alright? So, you know, with that being said, I'm not going to take anything away from Bowie. Bowie really put that work in as well, okay? So, Bowie, you have my respect. I just think that y'all just got the short end of the stick with some of y'all arrangements. It was some, you know, some individuals just didn't have it all the way with some of those songs, okay? But, you know, for the most part, very strong, very, very strong. Very impressed with Bowie. Very, very impressed. No true complaints in that department in 5th, but when we look at halftime, both bands need help in that. Looking at those, you know, entrance not so much, but more so for Winston. Their formation, the 8-5 killed both of those bands. They could have got an initial edge over each other if that 8-5 was there. And then when we look at that breakdown for Bowie, I just felt like if they would have had those bands being beat together, I think they would have been straight. Okay? So, that's my verdict, ladies and gentlemen. Winston won this one, man. If y'all made it to the end of this video, please consider liking and subscribing. It means so much to me, man. I'm going to get up out of here, man. And like I tell y'all always, deuces.